Estamos con ni más ni menos que Jordan Welch.
Un gusto.
Un gusto.
I cherish the moment, it's high stakes. I used to spend time on my time pay. The way speaker thumping and vibrate. She jumping my bones, make it gyrate.
Can you share with us a little bit of your story?
From a very young age, I saw what struggle looked like. We lost our house because we couldn't afford to keep making up the payments.
We got the house. Congratulations, mama.
It's so nice.
Welcome to your new house. Let's go.
I promise you, I've tried almost every side hustle. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped smoking. I stopped going out. I devoted every waking moment of my life to figuring out how to do this e-commerce thing. And by the end of the year, I had got that business over 100K a month. I moved to Los Angeles, and that was the first time I really started to spend money. I went from spending like $400 a month on an apartment to spending almost $4,000 a month on an apartment like that. And I thought that I was really successful because I had a couple $100,000 and because I had a fly apartment. But very quickly, I realized that there's levels to the game. I get it. Some people were born in situations that are less than satisfactory, but you can't live your whole life as a victim. You have to understand that there's a chance for you to make it. That means that if I can do a good enough job and I can get better every single day, I can win.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos a este nuevo podcast. Hoy tenemos a un invitado especial, alguien que honestamente me hace muchísima ilusión. Tenemos a un referente en la creación de contenido en los negocios de aquí de Estados Unidos. Estamos con ni más ni menos que Jordan Welch. How are you, man?
Todo bien, un gusto.
Un gusto.
Y no más español, por favor.
Let's do it in English.
Sí,
so
vamos.
first of all, thank you very much because I think that it's so cool to try to match the English community with the Spanish one, and you're open to do it. So thank you, man, for that.
100%. I have so many followers that speak Spanish. I love them all. So doing a podcast with you is a perfect idea. Yeah.
Something that I saw is that a lot of YouTubers from that they speak English, they have their channel in Spanish, like you, like Mr. Beast. But in the Spanish community, it's hard to do the gap and translate our videos to the English. For example, I tried twice. I don't know if you know Luisito Comunica. It's one of the biggest YouTubers in Spanish. And he tried to, but it doesn't work. Why do you think that it's?
Well, I feel like it's easier to go into the Spanish market because it's less saturated with this type of content. Whereas for you to come over to the English market, especially making a podcast or videos about e-commerce, there's a lot that has already been done. So it has to be significantly better than what's already out there for people to want to watch a dubbed version of it. You know what I'm saying? They could already go see the English version that's good. So to watch a dub, it has to be incredible.
So your recommendation for like Spanish creators is to keep in the Spanish market, do it super good and not try to go to other markets.
I think it's great to go to the other markets, but I think trying to dub your videos from Spanish to English is probably not the best idea. You should do it anyways, but I don't see it being like a genius strategy or anything like that.
Jordan, you did a lot of things. You're super big in YouTube. You sold some business. You did a lot of stuff. But you was born in a family with a single mom, with some economic and personal problems. Can you share with us a little bit of your story? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm from North Fort Myers, Florida. It's on the west coast of Florida. It's a small little city. I grew up with my mom and my stepdad. It was basically us two and my sister. My mom and him kind of had an on and off relationship. So most of the time it was just me and my mom. And she worked hard, you know, she worked as a receptionist at a doctor's office, just trying to provide for me and my sister. And from a very young age, I saw what struggle looked like. I saw how hard you could work and still not get rewarded for it. Even when I was like 9, 10 years old, a situation happened where we lost our house because we couldn't afford to keep making up the payments. So I saw that she was working this 9-to-5 job and still couldn't afford to keep us in the house. And she was working hard. She was doing everything she could. So I think that's what like made me want to go hard and do something with my life. I didn't realize it back then, but that's when I started to go for bigger things.
Why do you decide to go for the entrepreneurship way and not searching a job or doing like the normal way?
Well, from a very young age, I found out that it was possible to make money online because I got a laptop. When I had to leave my mom's, I moved in with my stepdad and he bought me a laptop. And that was the first time I was ever going on YouTube. So I would go on YouTube and see people making money online, making Call of Duty videos, making skits, making funny little vlogs, and they were getting paid for it. So for me, when I saw that, I said, that's what I want to do. I don't want to go and work at the grocery store or at the fast food restaurant. I want to try to make money doing this. So I got a camera. It was a super cheap camera. I just stole it from my mom and my stepdad. And I just started shooting videos with my friends. And I posted my first YouTube video like in 2011, 2011, yeah.
And I know that you tried a lot of things after having success in business. For example, one of your first business, if we can say that it's a business, it was like editing Call of Duty videos.
Yeah.
Can you explain like all the things that you do? Because I think that for people, it's nice to see that the first business is not the business that it's going to work.
Yeah, I basically started every business you could think before I found one that was somewhat successful. I was editing videos. I was reselling sneakers. I started a clothing brand that failed. I started a graphic design agency that failed, a website design agency. I started doing tech support around the city. I tried to host my own sneaker event. I tried to make an app development company. Like, I promise you, I've tried almost every side hustle. I started a 3D model company where I would try to like sell other people's 3D models to companies. I started an advertising agency before I knew how to run ads. I used to flip products on eBay. I've tried so much stuff. I gotta say probably at least 10 businesses I tried until I found the first one that actually made me a full-time income.
And what was the first business that worked for you?
E-commerce.
E-commerce, and can you explain how do you know about e-commerce, like your first steps?
Yeah, so I found out about dropshipping in 2017 because I had just finished my first year of college and they gave me like $2,000 back from a refund. Basically, I didn't spend all my student loans. So I had like $2,000 and I was trying to figure out what to put it in. And I found this business model of dropshipping and it just made sense to me. I didn't have to pay for inventory. I knew how to make websites already. I knew how to edit videos already. So I said, okay, if I could just make a great website and make a video and put it on Facebook, I could sell these products. And that's when everything like clicked in my brain. So I stopped doing everything. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped smoking. I stopped going out. This summer where everybody was turning up and having a good time after college, I devoted every waking moment of my life to figuring out how to do this e-commerce thing. And by the end of the summer, I had a profitable business that was good enough for me to go ahead and drop out of school and focus on it full time. And by the end of the year, I had got that business over 100K a month, which is crazy because I started that summer literally living off of a student loan check and some child support card that my mom had that I would get like $150, $200 a month on. And I finished the year at 6 figures a month.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do with that amount of money with a young age?
Well, the first thing I did was I moved into an apartment with my friends, and that was a very fun period of my life because I felt free for the first time. I had a business that was making money while I was sleeping. I would wake up to seeing sales. I could focus all day on building this thing. But I didn't ball out like most people do right away. Like I bought a Honda, like Accord. It was like $2,000. I moved into an apartment that was costing me like $400 a month. Started buying some crypto. I didn't do that much. I just started saving and saving and saving until the year after I moved to Los Angeles. And that was the first time I really started to spend money. I went from spending like $400 a month on an apartment to spending almost $4,000 a month on an apartment like that. And then living in LA, you get a nicer car. Instead of having the Honda, I upgraded to a brand new Lexus that was costing me like hundreds of dollars a month. And then I was going shopping and going to the clubs, and I blew through my first money relatively quickly once I moved to California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that here in the US, it's so easy to spend money. Maybe you're in another country and it's hard to spend that amount of money. But here I feel that you can spend whatever you want, because someone is going to take your money and give you what you want. Yeah,
it's super easy. You could spend all your money very fast.
And when you were living in Los Angeles with the clothing of the club, your own super apartment, new car, what did you feel? Because I think that it's a little bit what people think that it's success, like having your business, money, and having these material things.
Well, at that time, I didn't have so much of a frame of reference of what success was. And I thought that I was really successful because I had a couple $100,000 and because I had a fly apartment. But very quickly, I realized that there's levels to the game. I felt good in the beginning. I felt like I was the man. I felt like I was really successful. But once I got around a place like LA where I was the smallest fish in the sea, very quickly I realized I wasn't doing anything that impressive. And also I was living above my means. So to be honest, while it was fun at first, very quickly it became almost like anxious, almost like I was worried if I was doing the right thing. And it turns out I wasn't doing the right thing because it caught up to me, a couple months later.
Mm-hmm. And what happened a couple months later?
Well, yeah, I went broke. So my Shopify store that I had built at that time, I stopped focusing on it because I was living this lifestyle. I was making a little bit of money from doing YouTube and doing some coaching on the side, but even that started to slow down as my Shopify store crashed, because who wants to learn from a guy that's making no money on Shopify? And my savings started going down. So I said, okay, let me start a new business. So I started a new business, which was a software called Viral Vault. It's a product research software. And this business got me in a situation where I started making money again. I think I went from literally having like $2,000, $3,000 in my bank account. In the span of 2 weeks from launching the business, we were up $15,000 once again. And I thought I made it again. I was like, okay, good. We're back on track. Everything's good. Let's double down on this business. We built like a beta version, but I said, let's double down and build this thing for real. So we decided to work with a proper software development company, and we signed a contract to build an app with them. And the cost was like, I think it was like $37,000 or something. And quickly after signing the contract, my business partner that I had started that company with took the money and dipped on me. So now, as I told you, I had next to no savings. I had signed this contract with these people and I didn't have the money to build it. So I had to keep paying for this company, keep paying for my life in LA. And very quickly, everything came crashing down. I think 6 months later than that, I had $30,000 in debt on American Express cards and Wells Fargo lines of credit. And it was really down, down bad, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here in the US, you can not only going like broke, you can be worse. It's that you have to pay money to the bank that you have a loan.
Yeah.
Something that it's not so easy to do it in Spain, but it's possible.
That sounds nice. You can't go into debt in Spain. That's
we
good.
can, but it's not that easy that here that anybody has a lot of money in the bank account.
Yeah.
I mean in the credit card. So here I feel that it's easier.
The United States is built on debt. Most of the biggest companies in the US are thriving off of consumer debt, like car companies or like banks. Their whole business model is putting people into debt so they can charge them fees on paying that money back. Mm-hmm. So America is built on debt.
Yes, that's crazy. I think that if you know how the game is, you can play it, but if you don't know, it's like a trap that you can go inside.
Yeah, because debt for a poor person is literally the worst thing that can happen to them. But debt for a rich man is usually his number one goal. He's trying to get as much debt as he can so he can acquire as many properties and as many assets as possible and make those assets make more money than what it costs to have the debt. That's really the end game of business in the US. And if you look at these real estate billionaires and tycoons, they have more debt than you could possibly imagine, but they're richer than everybody.
Mm-hmm. Do you use debt?
Yeah, I have a mortgage for my property. I don't have any loans for my businesses at the moment, but the biggest debt that I have would be my mortgage, yeah.
Okay, and when all that happened, you moved back to your mother's house, right? And you started like again.
Yeah, because I tried to start the software business and it failed. And I was like, let me start a business doing the thing that got me my first success. So I started doing e-com again. I had to move back to my mom's house. I was sleeping on her couch, literally had no money to my name. I was the worst I've ever been in my entire life. And this business that I started at her house ended up becoming the brand that I built and sold over the next 2 years. And also, once I moved back to her house, I started documenting that process on YouTube. And from documenting that journey of me being literally down bad, you can go and see the videos on my channel now. I was able to get a couple 100,000 subscribers because I wanted to show people that no matter what happened to you, no matter what type of L's you've taken in your life, you can bounce back. And documenting the journey achieved that for me. And it kept me accountable. You know, it was like, I know that I have to post a video every Friday. And if I start falling off on my brand, the people are going to see that. So I have to stay on point. So I built this company called Sleep Band. It basically was some headphones designed for sleeping with a sleep mask built into it. And that business really changed my life. Yeah.
Okay, because something that you did, and it's not something popular in the YouTube space of entrepreneurs, is that you sold 2 business. Normally people have their own business, they make a lot of money, but they never sold. Mm-hmm. But in your case, you sold 2. How did you create this business? You created thinking about selling?
So Sleep Band, the company I was just telling you about, was the first company I ever sold. When I started building it, I didn't build it to sell it. But a couple months into the process, I started realizing that I didn't want to make the same mistakes I made with my first e-commerce business. The reason why my first store failed is because we weren't focusing on one main type of product. We were having a general store selling everything, which is great when you're just starting out. But if you want to build an asset and build something that's actually valuable and can be sold, you have to be the best at selling one product or one type of products, whether that's your clothing brand or whether that's your sleep band. And in my case, this time I focused on making the product as good as possible, because any good marketer could have came in and taken my product and just marketed it better than me, and then I'm out of the game. What I did was I spent months and months and months while building this brand, reiterating the product and improving everything about the product. So that way, a year into the business, we had the best product, the best packaging, the best process, and we were able to dominate because of this. We had actual happy customers. We had good ads that we could scale. It was a matter of, instead of testing a bunch of stuff, let me just be the best at this one thing. So that's what made that business sellable. And also not relying just on one stream of traffic. I had before only relied on Facebook ads, which I love to death. But with this business, we not only have Facebook ads, but we had Google ads. We had TikTok organic. We had YouTube ads. It was like I built more of a machine as opposed to just a funnel.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever share for how much money did you sell your store?
No, because in both contracts, I've signed NDAs on the amount because both of the people knew that I was a public figure. So,
okay, but we are speaking about multimillionaires deals, or we don't know.
The first deal, I don't share the numbers of that. I never have, and over all the years of podcasts and YouTube, I've never shared the numbers. But I can say my most recent acquisition was a multi-million-dollar deal for the company that I just told you put me $30,000 in debt, Viral Vault. With the success of the YouTube channel, it got that company back on its feet because now I had a stream of traffic, which was my organic content. And that business just recently sold just about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations for that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And when you moved back to your mother house, did you change anything more than only the business stuff? You changed your habits or your personal life?
Yeah, a big change I made when I moved back to my mom's was I stopped smoking weed. When I was in LA, I was smoking weed every day, lots of it. And I decided to stop when I moved back because 1, I couldn't afford it. And 2, it was completely frying my brain. And I was using it as like a coping mechanism for actually dealing with the problems that I needed to deal with in my life. And it was actually one of the hardest things about moving back was quitting weed, because for like 2 weeks straight, I was having like bad dreams and I would sweat when I was sleeping and I would crave it all throughout the day. People say that weed is not addictive, but I don't agree with that 100%, especially when you're smoking as much as I was.
Do you think that smoking weed, like sometimes it's okay, or you don't recommend any weed?
If you're broke, you shouldn't be smoking weed. No question about it. Mm-hmm. If you've got some money and you've got a family and you've got a life that you're happy with and you want to indulge in some weed every once in a while, it's no different than having a drink. But if you're broke and you're spending your last dollars just to get high every single day, you've got the game all messed up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. And one of your business too, why you're known, it's about YouTube.
Yes.
I think that you grow in YouTube because of a lot of things. You're so natural. You're like different than the other people speaking about business in YouTube. You have like the artist stuff that it's nice. But why do you think, like personally, that your channel really works?
I think I've just been more consistent than almost anybody. I told you at the beginning of this conversation that I started doing YouTube in 2011. And since then, I've maybe had 8 or 9 different channels in so many different industries. YouTube is something that I've always loved. I've always been a student of the game. I never got down with Netflix or movies as much as I loved YouTube. As a kid, all I watched was YouTube. So I've been trying to be a successful YouTuber since I was a little kid. And I know that that plays a big part in my success. And I'm not going to say I found some magical strategy. That's really the reason why I think that it happened. Now, there are things that I do on my channel that if I teach them to you or you put them on your channel, I know you will get more views without a doubt. But the big reason why I am where I am today is because I've been doing it for a long time. Even this channel now, with 1.6 million subs, I started it in 2017, and I was stuck at 20,000 subscribers for 3, 4, 5 years. You know, I was stuck forever. I couldn't break past that number. So, you know.
Yeah, I think that the niche, it's growing. So maybe that's why. And that's one reason that you grow with the niche, or maybe you're like doing the niche bigger. So that's why the subs are coming. And right now we see that more people are starting in YouTube. What recommendation can you give to the people?
Yeah, for anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel, the best thing I can say is just get out there and make your first 3 videos. Most people spend way too much time trying to figure out the best way to build a channel or how to make a viral video, when in reality, those first 10 or 15 videos you make are probably gonna suck. It really is a grind, and you have to get out there and start creating content as soon as possible. The next thing I would say is go and look at other people that have had successful videos, even outside of your industry, and try to replicate those videos for yourself. That's one of the lowest hanging fruits of how you can go out and get views on a new channel.
Mm-hmm. And for the YouTube business, I'm in the YouTube business too, and I know that the ways that we can make money are unlimited. We have the attention, so we are open to do whatever we want. In your case, how do you monetize your YouTube business?
Yeah, so like I said, for the last couple of years, I was monetizing with that software that I told you about. I was funneling all my viewers to go purchase that product, and that product made close to $5 million in revenue, and then we just sold it for a good amount as well. Amazing. So that was my main funnel. I also make great money from affiliate programs and from YouTube AdSense. When you have a channel in the finance space, you have some of the highest AdSense on YouTube. So we'll do like 25,000 plus a month just from AdSense alone.
That's crazy. The difference between the RPM in United States that in other countries, it's so huge.
Yeah, I know. I have a channel in Spanish as well, and we get great viewership on there, like over 1 million a month. And the money is so much smaller. I think I get I still make money there, maybe like 1,000, 2,000 a month, but it will start growing. Yeah,
I'm sure. You don't upload like a lot of videos like other YouTubers. You only upload less videos, but every video works so good. Like Mr. Beast, he don't upload like every week, but when he uploads, it always works. You have like a schedule, or how do you do for the videos?
Yeah, I like to post as much as I possibly can, but I'm also like very much a perfectionist with the quality of the videos. So at my current pace, we post like 2 videos a month. I think it works better for me, but I would like to get to the point where I can post a banger every single week. You know, it's just hard to get to that level of quality that I want. Even Mr. Beast, they didn't post every week for a long time, but then just this year, I think they started posting weekly, and it's been going crazy for them. But imagine how hard it is to run a Mr. Beast level channel and post a video every week. Like, kudos to them, because it's absolutely crazy. How much do you post? How often do you post?
3 a week.
3 a week?
3 a week. But the thing is that we have, first of all, the podcast. So it's easier because we come here in Miami, we record, I told you, 12 podcasts. And we have 3 months or 2 months and a half of content.
But it's all on the same channel?
Yes, okay, the same channel. Because the target is the same. So who watch a business podcast, he is going to like other kind of content. So we have podcast. I don't have to think too much about. We do free courses. We work with experts like expert in Amazon, expert in Python, expert in sales. So we collaborate and we upload a free course in the channel. So that's easy for me, more or less. And then I upload one video that I think like myself. So that's the way that I can upload 3. If not, it will be impossible.
Yeah, respect, bro. That's a lot of filming, a lot of work.
Thank you, man. We are a huge team, so we are super happy about that.
Nice, man.
And I saw too that you just opened a new channel, because what I feel like seeing, your videos is that you had like the success, you sold the companies, you made like a lot of money in a little time. So you feel a little bit like lost. How did you feel about that?
Well, after I sold my company a couple of months ago, we took like a month-long vacation through Europe and we did a bunch of crazy stuff, all the best parties, best shopping, best everything. And it was really fun for a while, but very quickly I started to get this kind of feeling of like anxiety of what's next in my life. I don't have a business that I'm working on right now outside of YouTube. So what am I going to be building for the rest of my life? And that really got over me. I think it taught me a very important lesson. And it's that the businesses that you're building and the things that you're working on is what's going to bring you the most joy. Most people is like, I'm building this thing just so I can get an exit and then I'm out of the game. Like, that's cool. But then you'll get out of the game and quickly realize that you still wish you were in the game or in another game. So I'm happy that I sold my business. I'm very, very happy about it. But there was a little period afterwards where I wasn't sure what I was going to do. But it was good because in that period, I had a lot of time to reflect and to ask myself, what do I want to do next? Instead of being in survival mode or instead of being in the trenches of building something, I could see everything from a higher point of view and say, okay, this is what I actually want to do. This is what I don't want to do. And let's focus on that instead.
Mm-hmm. And what do you want to do right now?
Yeah, well, I just started a new company where we're helping business owners build their channel and presence on YouTube so they can grow their companies. And then I'm also building a new software in the e-commerce space, which I haven't revealed yet, but it's absolutely crazy. And I think it will be one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm. Super nice. And I saw the first business that you're telling, helping growing the brands. And I think that it's so nice because your target, it's not like people that watch your videos. Maybe it's too, but it's like other business owners, other YouTubers that they have a lot of money, so you can do less sales and make even more money that selling an info products or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we made 100K today.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. And I didn't have to sell anything to my followers. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people make. Not selling something to their followers is a mistake, but most people start making videos with the sole intent of selling stuff to people. And as a result, they never get to build a relationship with the people because the audience feels like, oh, this person just wants to take and take and take. Whereas I feel like I built a relationship with my audience where I've given them and asked for barely anything in return. And as a result, we built a real family and we have a strong community on YouTube. So for me, it feels good because both of these new businesses that I'm building are not targeted at selling to my audience. I'd actually like to get out of selling stuff to my audience almost completely because both of these businesses, I like working with these clients more. I can serve them more because we're at a similar level and they pay way more money. So with both businesses, it's targeted towards existing business owners and not to beginners. So therefore, the videos that I can create on YouTube is just me pouring and giving to the people with nothing in exchange. And I think people appreciate that. I think there's a big shift coming in this entrepreneurship space on YouTube where the people that are just constantly shilling products and constantly taking from their audience, people are beginning to turn on them, and like people aren't feeling that connection that they used to feel about it. So it's just kind of like a vision of mine for the future.
Yeah, I totally agree because I think that the space changed a lot in a few years.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning was everybody selling courses. Right now, I think that it's changing. In Spain, I don't know here, but high ticket, it's like the thing that everybody do. Like now the courses are so expensive and it's like more like a mentorship. And something that I'm trying to introduce, and I think it's cool, is that to bring free courses, free information, and monetize with affiliation or other strategies. So you're not asking nothing to your audience. Like, I'm sure you know Jordan Bone.
Yes.
So that strategy, I think it's super nice, and hopefully more people will do it in their own niche.
I think it's one of the best things you could do as a new channel or even an existing channel is giving something for free to the people. And they feel like they got a gift because they did. And in return, you end up making way more money. I did the same thing. I just never really talked about it before. But I did this challenge last year in December where I tried to go from broke to rich in 30 days. And everybody thought that at the end of this challenge, I was going to sell a course. But at the end of the challenge, I gave them a free course, a free challenge for them to go and do exactly what I did in the video. And I got like 100 and something thousand people to go sign up for this free course in a matter of a week. And on the back end, I had my software subscription, and I had my Shopify affiliate link. So you can imagine what 120,000 new leads could do for your business growth and for your affiliate link growth.
Yeah.
You know, it basically created my income for the next year to come off of one free course that I dropped.
Yeah, that's amazing because you made more money than if you were selling a course. People have the course for free, and you only make money if people are happy and they still paying the software. So it's like a win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. And how do you see right now, like the entrepreneur space in YouTube?
I think it's good now. I think there's some bad apples and bad people, but I think in regards to the overall market, I think it's good. And I think the big shift that I've seen in the last 6 months is now it's mainly focused on raw documentation of your journey. I think if you come out, especially in an e-com space, and you try to just talk about your success or try to do educational videos, it'll be very hard if you're not already established. But if you're a new channel trying to get off the ground, your best bet is to literally just document your journey of building your brand as raw as possible, which I'm not taking credit or anything, but I did this, you know, forever ago, and it got my channel off the ground. And now I'm seeing this trend come back again. And I love it because it gets people to be authentic as opposed to everybody trying to jump on and be a guru from day one. It rewards authenticity. One of my biggest videos is the one that I made on the new channel, where I'm literally telling people that I feel depressed right now and I feel anxious right now. And maybe 2-3 years ago, that video might not have worked as well in the entrepreneurship space because people just want to see you're balling and you're successful. But now I think people are really beginning to appreciate people who are honest and real about their thoughts. You know, the best that I see doing this right now is like Daniel Dalen. There's another guy I just saw yesterday. His name is Blake Rocha, and he did a video saying, this was the hardest week of my life as an entrepreneur. And like the first minute of the video is him like crying in the video. And I was like, wow, you really put yourself out there. And I love it because in the comments, everybody was like, wow, like I can connect with this. This is the most I've ever connected to an entrepreneurship video. So yeah, that's how I see the market going now. I see it being more focused on authenticity than ever before, and not just saying that you're authentic, but like showing people.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people do that in Instagram, but in YouTube, not that many. But yeah, the raw videos, I really enjoy it too. And I think that it's the step for people for starting, not speaking about something that they don't know, just speaking about the reality, what they are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And for people that watch these kind of videos, how they can know if someone is a fake guru or not? Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, if they don't talk about the business that they built, or you can't find anything about what they do, that's usually a red flag. There's some exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, if somebody's claiming that they made millions and millions and millions of dollars, but you can't find their business, that's a red flag. For me, I've always talked about the businesses I built. I've always been open about it. So that's the first thing. That's actually the only thing I would focus on. I'm not going to make a whole list. Like if somebody is saying that they make money, how do they make it? And if it's not clear how they make it, then you should probably watch out. Man.
And what do you think about the Spanish market in general, like closing, entrepreneurs, YouTube? I
think it's so cool. And as I've started to be around some of my peers in that space, like Bruno Casanovas and yourself and Biel and these people that are running these crazy brands in Spanish, I think it's such like a cool world that I didn't even know about that I'm just finding now. And I feel like, and tell me if this is right or wrong, but I feel like maybe a couple of years ago, if kids came on YouTube talking about how successful they were in Spanish, they would get a lot of hate because the majority of the market didn't feel like it was possible. But I feel like now it's more people popping up and more kids feeling like they can actually make it happen in that market. I could be totally wrong, but that's like how I feel about it.
Yes, I'm sure you know, but guys like you and others, you are like benchmark. A lot of people learn about you in other world. So I think that a lot of people try to replicate what works in America, but our culture is so different. So if you see a guy in Spain saying, yeah, I went from broke to millionaire in 1 year, it's not something like in our culture, and people start to hate. But if you say the same, but with other words, and you adapt to our culture, it's something that I think a lot of people are doing right now, and it works. Like not just copy paste but adapt to our culture. But I think that more people are watching American, so more people believe that it's possible. More people start thinking bigger, and I think that that's why the market is growing. And because in Spain we have all the South America market, so that's why the market is so big, and we have that opportunities.
Yeah, it's the biggest market if you can figure it out, you know? But it's true. I mean, if I look at the difference in comments on my videos on my Spanish channel, some videos, like I made one in English, right? And it says, getting rich is easy, actually. And like, obviously we know getting rich is not easy, but what I'm talking about is like, if you just do 30 minutes of work every day for a long enough period of time, you'll become somewhat successful. But all the comments on my Spanish video with this title are like, Cállate Ozuna, you know, like bueno, like shut up. Yes. I'm like, no, it's like, it's like they need to know that it's legit. And if they feel that it's not legit, then they just hate you, I feel like.
Yes, and I think that it's true because people really think that living here all the life it's easier. And I really think that living here, you're like, it's super nice living here. You have a lot of opportunities. A lot of things are easier, but I saw a lot of homeless people here too. So I think you can do great things, but if you don't work here, it's harder than don't working in Spain, for example, that you know that you are going to have like the minimum things that the government are going to help you. Here, I think that if you don't do nothing in your life, anyone is going to help you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to be born in the US, and I love America so much, but America is a ruthless place. If you're not good and you're not on the top of your game, you will just sink to the bottom so fast. Even people go to college for 4, 5, 6 years, get a degree. They can't even go out and get the job that they were promised right now. And they got in so much debt just to get that degree, to get that job. And as a result, they have to sit around and go get a worse job, making barely any money. And then they get caught into that trap for the rest of their life. In business too, it's the best place to own a business, sure, but if you're not good in the US market, if your product's not the best, somebody who's better than you can just come and take you out. But that's the beauty of it to me, because that's why I like it. That means that if I can do a good enough job and I can get better every single day, I can win. It's a game, you know, if I can get good enough, if I can get my XP and my attributes up, I can win this game. But America is brutal, you know, it's
hard.
Yeah.
But if you do it well, you are going to be multi-millionaire.
Yeah, but some people I feel like have an advantage being born in other countries. And I'll explain this. Like I have many friends from the Netherlands, right? And they were so successful with e-commerce back in 2018 and 2019 because nobody was drop shipping over there like they were in the US. I have so many friends from France who built crazy empires off e-commerce, literally taking the exact product that was working in the US, copying everything word for word and just putting it in France. So what I mean is that if you're living in another country, a lot of times you can look at the stuff that's working in the US and just adapt it to your market. That goes for YouTube videos, that goes for products, that goes for just about anything. It's like one of the easiest ways to break through.
Yeah, yes, I totally agree. And I think that we have to understand our situation and do it our best. But yes, I think that that's why maybe in your Spanish videos you have some hate, because maybe they think, okay, that's easy because you're American and that's it. And in your videos, you do a lot of things, but one of your most popular videos is recording with big influencers or big entrepreneurs, or asking millionaires in the street or in their homes. What did you learn recording with these kind of people?
I learned that no matter where you come from, you can make it in this world. I've met people literally born from nothing that gone on to make billions. One of the people I met last year was born in a bomb shelter in Hungary, and now he's the 54th richest man in the entire planet. I've done videos with people like Iman, who was literally born in Dagestan, Russia, and now is worth $50 million in his 20s. I've done videos with so many people. I just did a video with Samuel and Ruben Onua. Those guys were born in a city with literally 700 people, and now they're traveling the world, flying private, making $100,000 a day. So when I see these stories, it tells me that there's no excuse. I get it. Some people were born in situations that are less than satisfactory, but you can't live your whole life as a victim. You have to understand that there's a chance for you to make it. The internet took away the friction. The internet made it so anybody that has access to a computer can go out and get some money. That's what I learned from being around all these people, is that we're living in one of the greatest times in history for entrepreneurs, and the opportunity is greater than it's ever been for you to go and become successful, no matter where you're from. So anytime I do a video like that, it just makes me want to go harder in what I'm doing.
Yes, I feel you, because when we record podcast, we feel the same.
Yeah.
Like you listen to an amazing story, you see like people going so hard in life, and you're super motivated.
Yeah.
And do you create really relationships with some of the people that you interview or you record with, or it's like only business?
I think I've built relationships with most of them. Some people, you know, it's just we shoot our video and then we're following each other on Instagram, but then we don't really talk. Some people have become my brothers, you know, like I'm really close with Iman and Luke Belmar and those Onua brothers. Those guys, we really bonded. So when you do something like that with somebody, and I have a way of getting people to be very vulnerable and talk about things that are maybe a bit uncomfortable or that they've never shared, when you have a conversation like that with somebody, you do build a connection with them. So yeah, I would say we build good relationships with people.
And I'm sure that you're receiving like a lot of message DMs that people want to appear in your channel. How do you select who can go into your channel or not?
Yeah, I just pick people myself. I've had situations where people have reached out and offered to pay me 6 figures plus to be in a video. I've never accepted any payment for anybody to ever come on my channel. I just pick people that I think have an interesting story. And also, if I think that they're a good, genuine person that has actually done the things that they're saying. We usually just look at who's coming up. We look at stories that are interesting. It's just, a lot of it happens naturally though. Like Onua, those guys that we met them in Ibiza, like we were just traveling. We went to a restaurant and they were at the table right next to us. So I started talking to him. We liked the vibe with them. And then next thing you know, we're flying to Marbella to shoot a video together.
And for example, these guys are super in the mood of expensive, a lot of money. And that it's something that I feel that right now it's so popular in social media, like people that they make a lot of money, but they spend too because it helps to grow. And we have other kind of people like other kind of YouTubers that they don't spend anything and they invest all. In which category are you in?
Well, because of what I told you before, because I went broke when I first started making money, once I started to make money again, I had a very scarce mindset. I was very scared to spend money. So instead of moving into an expensive apartment in Miami, I moved to the little tiniest $2,000 a month apartment, which might sound like a lot, but $2,000 a month in Miami is like a 1-bedroom shack. So I lived there for a long time. I didn't upgrade my car. I kept the same car. I just tried to make as much as I possibly could, invest as much as I possibly could. The biggest expense that I had when I first started making money was I bought my mom a new truck. But even that, I tried to keep it light. Until I had multiple millions of dollars to my name, I didn't really start balling out crazy. But around, I would say like 2 years ago, I started to spend a little bit more of my money. But still to this day, I don't spend, I guess, well, depends on what you consider crazy, but like I don't always spend crazy. Over the summer, we went crazy. I think I just looked at the other day, we spent like $100,000 just for like 3-4 weeks of traveling. And that's not counting everything. That's just for the basics. I just bought a supercar as well. It's coming to my house tomorrow, I think. I got a bunch of watches. I got like, I don't know, $500,000 of watches. It just, now I spend money, but it's all relative to what I make. Like, it's such a small percentage of what I make, the material stuff that I own, that it doesn't really make an impact. I also bought 2 houses this year. So that was also
for investing.
Actually, 2 are for investments. And then I have a third one, which is my mom's house, but I don't really, I guess I count that, but that's like an expense every month. But I own 2 properties now that we are making money with from renting.
Amazing. And do you invest? You have your own portfolio?
Yeah, so I invest in crypto. I obviously invest in stocks for a super long time, mainly mutual funds. I like Graham Stephan's approach to it all because it's super easy and it's very boring. But of course, the individual stocks is fun. I got money market accounts where I earn interest every single month. It's just, when you start to get a good amount of money, what you do is put your money in a bunch of different little buckets. But yeah, have the real estate, have the crypto portfolio, which has been going crazy this year. This was the first year that I made over $1 million in profit with crypto. And that's a good feeling.
And I'm sure that a lot of millionaires told you that the best investment is investing in yourself, in your business. But I feel that when you have a YouTube business, it's hard to invest more in your business. For example, for you, if you want to invest $1 million in your YouTube business, it's impossible. Or do you find a way to do it?
The best way you could invest in a business like this is making crazier video ideas or building a bigger team. Like what we could do is hire more people for distribution and have a bunch of editors and people run around doing clips. There's many ways you could scale it, but for me, we keep it pretty lean. I don't have a huge YouTube team. I have head of content, editor, thumbnail guy. We have like 3 or 4 people on distribution. It's not like an 80-person squad, you know?
How are you approaching the distribution stuff? Because I think that it's trendy, like it's something new, the redistribution. How do you approach that?
Yeah, for me, I haven't had as much success as some of my peers with that. And I still feel like I'm figuring out that side of my channel. As of now, we're getting like 2-3 million views a week, which is good, but I know that there's another level to reach. So for me, the way I just do it is I have my couple guys go and take clips from my existing videos. Sometimes we'll record other stuff like sound bites. We send them all the footage from my phone. Like we always filming and stuff on trips. So they just have all this footage and we give them free reign to go and post it across a couple different accounts. Yeah, I don't see a crazy ROI from this though. Like I see new viewership and more fame, I guess. Like people will come up to me on the street and instead of saying you're the YouTube guy, they'll say like, oh, you're the TikToker. I'm like, well, I never made a TikTok in my life, but it's okay. I don't mind. But I'm not seeing like a direct, like, wow, this is such a great return on investment. You know, it's just like a great way to look at it is like a billboard, you know, like when you're driving down the freeway and you see a billboard for a company, you might not remember the company, but if you drive past that billboard enough times, eventually it'll stick into your brain and then you might reach out or look into that company some more. I look at the short form stuff the exact same way because if you watch some reels today, I know you don't remember all of the reels that you watched. Maybe you don't even remember a single one, but if you see me on your reels enough over and over again, you might want to say, who is this guy? Let me see what he's all about. Yeah.
And how's your routine? Do you have like an entrepreneur routine or it's more free?
It's pretty free. I have a simple life, but there's non-negotiables in my day. And one thing for certain is every day I try to train. So I like to do workouts at my house, like calisthenics. I like to do kickboxing every single night. But usually I wake up around like 8, get up, go downstairs, have some water with electrolytes, go for a walk around my neighborhood, come home, get some coffee, sit at the desk and work for a couple hours, work out. This is everything I did today. So I'm just talking through my whole day. I work out. I went to do some meetings with my team, got a haircut, ate some food, came here. After here, I'll go kickboxing and then go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. So easy life and not like the typical entrepreneur routine that we can see in YouTube, like wake up super early and work a lot and then like all schedule it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're broke and you're just getting started in your journey, I feel like you're better off doing that because I, in the beginning, didn't do this like 5 a.m. crazy routine, but don't get it wrong. I was up almost every day at 7:30. I was really like dialed in every aspect of my life. And I do believe that that's a big reason why I was able to get things off the ground. As a beginner, like there's no excuse. Like you have to be doing those things, but don't just do those things and expect that to make you money. You still got to show up and do the work. But yeah, I mean, you got to find what works for you as well. Like these crazy routines is not for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I agree because I listened to Iman that told something similar that he's in the videos like doing crazy stuff, but he's doing that because he did the other thing. So you can't start with the crazy stuff if you didn't do the work.
Yeah.
So you have to see the real way.
One of my favorite things Iman ever said is don't compare yourself to who I am today. Compare yourself to who I was 4 or 5 years ago, because it makes no sense for you to look at everything that I'm doing right now. It doesn't make sense for you to invest $250,000 into building a new software. It doesn't make sense for you to try to sell a company. It doesn't make sense for you to try to make a viral video doing interviews. What you should go look at is what I was doing 6-7 years ago when I was just trying to figure out this game with a couple $1,000s to my name. That's the version that you should study, because that's who you are now and you can take the most from him. That kid was waking up pretty much every day around 7:30. He would go work out. He would come home, literally do nothing but watch YouTube videos of e-commerce people and try his best to figure it out. Spend my whole day in communities of other dropshipping people. Spend my nights locked in working on the business all day, and then get into bed and read a book about how to make money until I can't keep my eyes open anymore. You know, that's a little bit more comparable to where most people are at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And how did your life change between this moment and right now that you have money, you have power, you have fame? Did you feel like a big change in your life, that maybe you get crazy or something like that with all these things?
It is crazy, bro. My life today is completely unrecognizable from what it was years ago. But the whole change is so gradual, and it happens brick by brick by brick, that you don't even really notice that it's happening until some moments come around and you look at your life and you say, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is my reality. Buying my mom her dream house and seeing her come in there and cry her eyes out and get to move out of the neighborhood that we grew up in, that's one of those moments. Tomorrow, when my McLaren gets delivered to my front door and I paid for the whole car in cash, and I used to drive a Toyota that cost me $500, those are the moments when you're like, wow, this is crazy. But then guess what? That house that she lives in, that's just her house. This car that I'm getting, that's just my car. And then it all just becomes normal again. But there are moments where you look and you're like, I can't believe that this is my life. And then there's other days where you're like, I want more.
Yes, you always want more and more and more.
Yeah.
And hopefully that you can find more with the true new project that you told me that you're working in.
Yeah. And even with that, I don't think it'll bring me any type of new joy or satisfaction, but it's fun building it and I enjoy building it. And that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. So what really makes you happy? It's to build stuff, not the result, the final result.
Yeah, I think that's universal with humans. You know, I think we're happy with the finished products, but the most fun is building the thing. Like for me, even with my videos, like somehow the saddest part is when I post a video, because then I'm done. And that means I have to now start over and do a brand new video. The most fun is when we're like shooting or when we're editing or when we're putting the finishing touches on it. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
Yes, I agree. The dopamine of uploading the video and looking like the first 10 minutes that you know if the video is going to work well or not in just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The worst part about what you're saying, though, is because I completely relate to it, is it's like right at that moment, your happiness around your project is no longer based on your input. It's based on something that's completely out of your control. Mm-hmm. You might have been so happy and thought you created the best thing and had so much fun along the way. And then you post a video and YouTube says it's a terrible video and your whole mood around the project changed. So that's...
Yes, but that's the market.
Yes.
That's the market. I feel it too, that maybe you're in a video works a lot and you're super happy. And if the video not, you're not happy. So your mood is related to YouTube. That's crazy.
Not so much as it used to be, because I've been doing this for so long now. But yeah, if you drop a video and it goes 10 out of 10, which means it's your worst performing video, that still sucks and it doesn't feel good. But it just means you need to make your next video better.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I really think that it's the key of success in YouTube. It's keep posting. It's the only way, because in the entrepreneurship space and in dropshipping e-commerce, we see a lot of guys that they stop uploading, so they are dead in YouTube. But if they keep uploading, maybe with less views, they will keep in our mind, so they will keep in the game.
keep posting, but keep getting better, because I was stuck, like I said, at 20,000 subscribers for so many years. And I was posting 3 videos a week, 2 videos a week. It wasn't because I wasn't consistent. It was because every video was just as bad as the last video. So no matter how hard I went, the videos wasn't doing any better.
Yes. It's not only keep pushing, keep posting, but watching what's working, what not, because I see the same people like posting the same kind of videos ever and ever and ever. So if it doesn't work the first, it's not going to work ever.
100%.
And Jordan, how do you do for trying to match your personal and professional life? Because you told me that you did a travel of 3 months, but I feel that myself, it's hard to think about 3 months travel without working, without doing nothing. Like, I feel that I have a lot of responsibility. How do you match that?
I have so much freedom. I have a team that helps me run my company. They're all paid well. I have a business that makes me money every day, even when I sleep. If I want to go and travel and do something, I have the choice to do that. There's a sacrifice. The sacrifice is maybe that the business might slow down because I'm not growing it actively. But at the end of the day, how old are you?
26.
Yeah, I'm the same age as you. You know, this is the time
You're
to...
97?
98.
98.
Yeah, this is the time to at least have some fun. I'm not saying this is the time to forget about everything that's important, but you can't spend your entire youth just focused on getting rich, because then one day when you're 35, you're going to wish that you enjoyed your time as a youth a little bit more. So you have to make that a priority in your life. If you feel out of balance, if you feel like you don't care about none of that stuff and all you want to do is work and that's bringing you joy, then just do that. But if you feel like, man, I really am due for a vacation, but I can't because I have to work and my business is going to fall off, you need to make the vacation a priority, because it's important for you to get that out of your system. And bro, you're rich. You can do whatever you want. You know, you can go take a trip if you wanted to.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's hard to, because you feel that you have responsibility, your team and all the stuff, but you're right.
As long as your team is happy and as long as you're not a terrible boss, it makes them happy to see you doing good. You're their leader after all. They look to you as somebody that they want to be like. So if they see you happy and they see you doing well, that makes them feel happy. Unless they're like underpaid, living in a closet and you're like in Saint-Tropez or something. But if you're taking care of your team, they want to see you winning as well.
Yes.
Especially if you can go and celebrate with your team.
Yes.
That's the ultimate game, you know? If you can take your team with you and go on a trip together, you've beat the game, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it. You have to go to Begur. Super nice place in Costa Brava near Barcelona. If you like Ibiza, you'd like Ibiza, but without party.
Yeah, I gotta go for sure. Next summer, I'm coming back to Spain, and you and I were linking up.
Let's go. Last 2 recommendations. I would love if you can give a recommendation to someone that has a business. He's watching that. Maybe he's making 100,000 a month, something like that, like a good business owner. Which advice will you give today?
Well, it depends on which type of business and their situation.
Infoproduct business, let's see.
Yeah. So if you have a course and you're making 100K a month, I think it's so important that you do establish yourself on YouTube. Even if you're making all that money off ads right now or all that money off your story right now, YouTube is so powerful because you can make one evergreen video that pops off and brings you views, revenue, and customers for years. I have a video that I made 3 years ago teaching people how to start dropshipping that every single day is still bringing me 30 to 50 new signups to Shopify affiliate every day and getting new customers for my software that I don't even own anymore. I sold the software. An evergreen video is literally like a piece of real estate on YouTube that's going to pay you for months and years to come. So if you have an info product, this is the value of locking in on YouTube. And if you are running ads, the potency of your ads will go up so much. So I recommend everybody that has an info product lock in on YouTube.
Yes. And one advice for someone that it's just starting, like you when you were watching YouTube videos about how to make money.
Yeah. If I was just starting out today and I wanted to get rich, the number one thing I would avoid is trying to start multiple businesses or jump from idea to idea. Over the course of my life, like I told you, I started 10 different businesses until I found the one that made me my first million. Imagine if I had just focused on that one from the beginning. You need to focus on one thing for long enough to allow it to give you results. You can't just start something, work on it for 3 months, and then jump to the next hot opportunity. If you stick with anything for long enough, it'll pay off. I've been doing YouTube for 12, 13, 14 years. I've been doing business for around the same amount of time. That's what it takes. It's not going to take you 14 years, but you need to pick one thing and stick with it for long enough.
Amazing. Jordan, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure having you in my channel. And thank you, man.
De nada.